Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Howard County State's Attorney's Office. My name is Josh Felsen. I'm one of the Deputy State's Attorneys here. Thank you for coming. First up, we'd like to hear, we're going to have Rich Gibson, the State's Attorney for Howard County, will be presenting.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Rich Gibson, State's Attorney for Howard County. On March 16th of 2022, we held a press conference announcing that Howard County Grand Jury had indicted 8 members of a criminal gang, the 59 Hoover criminal gang, a national criminal organization that's an offshoot of the Crips, started in California, which had established a set or space of operation here in Columbia, Maryland. Our first contact with the 59 Hoover criminal gang in Howard County dated back to 2011. Howard County Police reached out to the State's Attorney's Office and began investigating under what was then the Violent Crime Reduction Initiative, VCRI, which is now known as the CRT, the Crime Reduction Teams. And we began working closely together, along with other law enforcement partners, with the goal of building solid cases, getting at the heart of the gang's operations. To that end, we were able to say today that we brought charges against 8 individuals, and we have now achieved 8 convictions in those cases. Those outcomes would not be possible without the help of partner agencies working in close collaboration with our office and the community to achieve these results. I'd like to express profound gratitude to the Howard County Police, the Howard County Sheriff's Office led by Sheriff Marcus Harris, the Howard County Executive's Office, Baltimore City State's Attorney's Office, Baltimore County State's Attorney's Office, the Prince George's County State's Attorney's Office, the Anne Arundel County Police, the Carroll County Sheriff's Office, Maryland State Police, the U.S. Marshal's Office, the Federal Bureau of Investigations, the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms, the Maryland Criminal Intelligence Network, along with our expert witnesses who testified at trial, Mark Neptune, retired Baltimore City Police, Howard County Detective Stephen Fowler, Howard County Sergeant Jason Starr. Within our office, we had a team dedicated to handling these cases. I'd like to thank ASA Doug Nelson, who's the chief of the Major Investigations Unit, Assistant State Attorney Natasha Bias, who's the deputy chief of the Major Crimes Unit, who took to trial most recently the leader of that organization here in Howard County, ASA Matt Matera, who was involved in the prosecution of those cases, and ASA Jonathan Church, who was initially with our office, but then went to Prince George's County, but came back out of dedication to these matters. Again, 8 members were charged on March 2nd of 2022. We've now secured 8 convictions. The defendant, Jeremiah Lewis, was charged with gang involvement, gang leadership, committing a murder on behalf of the organization. There was a 3-week trial that concluded yesterday. He was charged with 12 offenses. The jury convicted him of 9 of those offenses, and he faces a maximum sentence of life without the possibility of parole plus 100 years. We want to thank the jury for their verdict after the careful deliberation and consideration of all the evidence presented, the judge who fairly administered the court proceedings, and the defense counsel for their zealous advocacy during the trial. Another defendant was Daquan Woodson, pled guilty to conspiracy to commit robbery, use of a firearm in a commission of a crime of violence, assault in the first degree, and gang involvement. He received a sentence of 65 years, suspend all but 18 years, with 5 years of supervised probation. Mr. Anthony Jenkins pled guilty to gang involvement, conspiracy to possess a firearm after disqualifying crime. His sentencing is scheduled later on this month. Terrence Hucks pled to possession with intent to distribute marijuana and gang involvement, was sentenced to 15 years, suspend all but 4 years with 5 years supervised probation. Justin Harper pled guilty to gang involvement, illegal possession of ammunition, was sentenced to 16 years, suspend all but 9 years with 5 years of supervised probation. David Wainwright pled guilty to CDS possession with intent to distribute and gang involvement, received a sentence of 15 years, suspend all but 8 years, 5 years supervised probation. Antonio Haywood pled guilty to gang involvement, was sentenced to 15 years, suspend all but 4 years with 5 years supervised probation. And Tavon Hawkins pled guilty to participation in a gang, sentenced to 15 years, suspend all but 4 years with 5 years supervised probation. One of the probationary terms for all these defendants that they not associate with any other gang members, among other things. They must not violate any other laws. To the family of Jaden Ely, whose life was unjustly taken as a result of the defendant's actions, there's no way that we can adequately compensate them or make right the pain they feel and address their pain, but we hope that we can provide some semblance of justice through the outcomes of these cases. Howard County is a little safer now as a result of these cases being charged, successfully prosecuted. Our most essential partner in all of this, in terms of public safety, is the community itself, and I encourage you all in the community to continue to speak up if you see anything wrong. If you feel anything's out of order, see something, say something, please. Thank you very much.
Next up, we'll have County Executive Dr. Calvin Ball.
Well, good morning, and thank you for being here. Every day, our tireless public servants at the Howard County Police Department, State's Attorney's Office, and Sheriff's Office work collaboratively to ensure the public safety of our residents and visitors. While a majority of the work they do may be unseen by many in our community, their efforts do not go unnoticed. Today is a clear indication of the hard work, dedication, tenacity of these public servants to close a long, painful chapter for our residents. When we were first made aware of this case upon taking office, we knew that we had to take immediate action to address these crimes. In 2011, 59 Hoover materials were found at the Howard County Detention Center. In 2013, documents referencing 59 Hoover were discovered in a residential search warrant. The 59 Hoover gang set operating in Colombia created a command and organizational structure that is known to its members. We knew that progress on combating the Hoover gang would only be made when we work together. In 2020, we formed the Howard County Police Department Violent Crime Reduction Initiative. From investigation and indictment to apprehension, conviction, these public servants have worked tirelessly to remove these violent criminals off our streets. Through our Violent Crime Reduction Initiative, which became the Permanent Crime Reduction Teams, we were able to indict and prosecute these violent, harmful people. This last case, involving 8 members of the 59 Hoover criminal gang, has concluded with the conviction of its leader. This criminal network was believed to be involved in multiple violent crimes and other offenses. We've taken a giant leap forward together in our progress to uphold public safety in our community by holding these violent criminals accountable for their actions, and our community is finally receiving some closure on these crimes that have disturbed going back a decade. I want to personally thank our police officers, sheriffs, state's attorneys, and all of our public safety partners that the state's attorney outlined, who have once again demonstrated diligence, professionalism, and made our community proud by delivering a significant blow to violent crime here. They have fully used the resources and support for crime prevention that we have given them to make a difference for the better. It's because of them that criminal activities of the 59 Hoover gang have been severely disrupted. Through these efforts, we continue to combat gangs in our community together. And while, like the state's attorney said, the victims will always be have to work through these challenges and difficulties and the loss, I hope that the victims in our community see that we see them. We will work together to hold these gangsters accountable here in Howard County and beyond. Thank you.
Next, speaking will be Howard County Police Chief Durr.
Thank you. Good morning. I I want to thank State's Attorney Rich Gibson and his team for their partnership and commitment to bringing these critical cases to justice. This can only be achieved with collaboration among police, prosecutors, our supportive administration, and County Executive Calvin Ball. Howard County Police have recognized that our jurisdiction is not immune to crime. In this area, a group known as the 59 Hoovers were developing a presence in some of our neighborhoods. In late 2020, our investigators determined that many, if not most, of the serious crimes in Howard County could be linked to this small group. Investigations of guns, drugs, and violence kept leading to the same suspects. Detectives realized many of these offenders were linked to one another and repeatedly committing crimes in our community. We reached out to State's Attorney Rich Gibson about collaborating on these efforts, and he was 100% on board and behind us. After many months of working step by step with prosecutors, the Sheriff's Office, and our other partners, we built cases that led to indictments and ultimately the guilty verdicts you hear today. I use an analogy when I talk to my officers about a relay race. This relay race that I look at, that I use, starts with the community. The community hands the baton to the police department hands the baton to the State's Attorney's Office, and the State's Attorney's Office ultimately hands it to the court system. Everybody has to run their leg of the race, including the community. In this one, we won the race. So when all the partners come together like we have here in Howard County, things get done, criminals get held accountable. Our ongoing partnership with the State's Attorney's Office and support from the Howard County Executive Calvin Ball will enable us to continue to address these issues and crime in our community. Thank you.
At this time, we can open it up to any questions.
Ken W. with the AL News Radio. Can you say for sure to the community that the 59 Hoover gang has been neutralized completely, or are you still playing a game of whack-a-mole trying to take them down?
No. So crime is an ever-present issue, and I don't think you can ever completely relax. That's why I close with the statement of saying we need the community to continue to be vigilant. We've taken a significant step in reducing their involvement here in Howard County. This space is a space that we have a commitment to each other that involves speaking up when we see something wrong, that involves collaborating with law enforcement, and I think that's one of the primary things that makes us one of the safest places to be in the country. As long as we keep that mentality, as long as people continue to look out for one another and speak up when they see things that are in error, we can work together to ensure that our safety remains a paramount virtue for this community.
And do you know why this gang actually originated here or started here? Because they originated on the West Coast. So how do they migrate over here to the East Coast and chose Columbia of all places?
So it's a national organization, right? And so they're not, while they started in LA, they spread across the entire country. I think that Howard County, if you look at gangs, the pressure point for gangs is other gangs and law enforcement and the community, right? And if you operate in a clandestine way, if people don't know what to look for, right, then you can operate with a degree of impunity, right? There aren't a lot of other gangs operating in this community, so there's not a lot of pressure from other criminal organizations, like other jurisdictions can't say the same thing, right? And so this was a safe place for them to operate for a while. They were engaged in all the things that gangs engage in, the violence, the drugs, the gun offenses, and through hard work and dedication from all of the partners I've listed and the partners you see present today, we were able to, again, make our community a little bit safer.
And if I could ask one other
Sure.
question, it's kind of an off-topic question, maybe for the police chief. We had a series of armed robberies of kids. I believe 4 kids were robbed in the span of about an hour or so. 2 of them, I think, were by Hammond High School. Any update on that? I believe you already said you believe they're connected, but anything you can tell us more?
So it's an ongoing investigation. I can't comment a whole lot on the ongoing investigation. Just like the national surge, we have a surge in Howard County, like in all the counties of some of our young people committing some of these criminal acts. Again, we've assigned that to a detective, to our detective bureau, and they're going to be looking into that.
Any other questions?
Just to clarify, like as a gang, like was their MO? Like, were they dealing drugs? Was this like mainly violence? Could you just clarify that?
I think
So they were involved in everything that a gang's involved in. So there was drugs, there was gun offenses, there was gun dealing, there were assaults, controlling turf. And controlling turf isn't just one gang interacting with another gang. It could be just some kids from the neighborhood doing something in a space they didn't like, right? And also tagging the area. So they used their colors, orange and blue. And they put bandanas out on the street. They did graffiti, things of that nature. Just disturbing the public peace in every way possible. That's what gangs do.
All right, I'd like to thank everyone for coming to the Howard County State's Attorney's Office. Thank you.